it came down to 5 quite distinct factors or reasons. The first being timing. If we look at the terror attacks on Charlie Hebdo in Paris, they unfolded in real time on our smartphones, on our desktops, on our TVs. It was reality TV in its purest form. And I recall that Friday the 7th, I was glued to my laptop screen and my Twitter feed, and I was absorbing and taking in all of this news live. And in contrast, if we look at what happened in northeast Nigeria, the attacks were very sporadic, building up to a climax over the course of a week prior to the incident. And Boko Haram have been very strategic and slow moving in that region, slowly dominating that region. So it wasn't just one incident, but rather a series of incidents in northeast Nigeria. And Boko Haram have come to dominate Nigerian news so much that they've become a permanent fixture, which has in many ways desensitized the world to their actions and kind of moved them outside of our news and interest radar, so to speak. And what's happening in northeast Nigeria is not just one incident of terror, it's a war. 10,000 civilian casualties at the hands of Boko Haram last year alone. This is not one incident, this is a series of incidents. What was unique about the attacks on Charlie Hebdo was that they weren't just terror attacks, they were attacks on the democratic principle of freedom of speech. And as a consequence, there were attacks on freedom of speech's champions, a global fraternity of journalists. And it was very rare in that it was a very personal attack on journalists all over the world, and it tugged at the heartstrings of editors the world over. Another key reason, I believe, is location. So the general perception is that it's a lot easier and in fact safer to book a one-way ticket to Paris, France than it is Baga, Nigeria. And this is true in many ways. I mean, the northeast region of Nigeria has become completely destabilized. Boko Haram operating largely unchecked in many areas, and there's no credible source of news coming from there. I mean, the nearest journalists at the time were hundreds of kilometers away. The only sources were traumatized victims and unreliable government sources. So in order for a credible story to gain traction, you need eyes and ears on the ground. Like, location and logistics matter. The fourth point is scale. What was again unique about the Charlie Hebdo attacks was we saw this mass of millions of protesters marching in defiance of terror and standing up for the principles of freedom of speech. That was very prevalent in Paris, but we didn't see that in Nigeria. There were no mass marches in Lagos, Nigeria, no midnight vigils for the slain, no Instagram pictures of people chanting in solidarity. And in fact, Nigeria's President Goodluck Jonathan failed to even mention the attacks on Baga a week following the incident. The fifth and final point, I believe, and perhaps the most important, is the concept of virality, or what makes something go viral. Social media is unique in that it allows for mass global solidarity, but it's also unique in the sense that social media is comprised of lots of different tribes or groups of people, and people naturally gravitate towards other people with the same interests as them. There needs to be a very clear message or call to action in order for something to go viral. A message that is unclear or complex or difficult to contribute to doesn't gain enough traction to go viral. So something as simple as a hashtag can convey that kind of clarity and call to action. And hashtag in a few letters says, I'm interested in this, I'm thinking about this. And in Paris, with the hashtags Je suis Charlie and Charlie Hebdo, which were used over 4 million times, those two hashtags, had a very clear call to action and to participate. And there was no such call to action in Nigeria. The only hashtag that was trending in the week following the incident of the attacks on Baga was hashtag Boko Haram, and that was used only 40,000 times. Now you compare 40,000 to 4 million, that's a very big disparity on social media. But that's not to say that there's never been a clear call to action coming from Nigeria. I mean, last year in 2014 in June, we had the hashtag trending Bring Back Our Girls, which was referring to the 300 Nigerian girls kidnapped by Boko Haram. And that trended enormously, I mean, huge numbers, close to 5 million users of that hashtag on social media, across multiple social media platforms. And the world's eye was fixed on Nigeria. But that's because it was a very clear call to action and to participate. And we haven't seen that this time around on traditional media and social media.